Hi, this is Joe and Josh from PH Tennis, and today we're going to give you our top 5 rackets of 2022.
Well, let me stop you there. There was a few more than 5 new rackets in 2022, so we have some honourable mentions ones that didn't quite get into our top 5 as well.
So, let's crack on with our honourable mentions.
So, we're going to start with the Wilson Clash. Now, the Wilson Clash in its previous version was super popular because it was so fresh and so new. And I think the reason why this didn't quite get into our top 5 is that, especially the Clash 100, played very similarly to the last one. So there wasn't necessarily a huge upgrade in it. It's still a great racket, but it didn't really wow us with anything new. Sticking with Wilson, we have the Ultra. Now, it looks brilliant, but I think maybe the problem with the Ultra was arguably a bit similar to the Clash, and the introduction of 45 in it made it play the same, and it didn't quite have the same stiffness and easy access to power as the Ultra traditionally has had. Yeah,
and I think when you're comparing it to some of the other power rackets that are available, it's not giving you the same sort of easy access to power. I think that's where, for me anyway, it struggles slightly in that regard.
Yeah, it's definitely for someone with a longer, more kind of modern swing.
Absolutely. Sure. So, fantastic racket, just didn't quite make our top 5.
We were really excited for the new Pure Aero, and it didn't quite do it for us, I think is a fair...
No, and I think it's a very good racket, but I think that when you compare it to some of the other rackets that became available at the same sort of time, it just didn't have as much going for it. It didn't quite generate as much power. Still loads of spin as you'd expect with the Aero, but just not quite as kind of exciting as some of the other things that became available.
In saying that, it has sold really well. So people who, like, say, the general public who've used it and demoed it have liked it. So there's definitely a kind of balance here between necessarily what coaches are looking for out of their rackets and the way they play, and kind of your general consumer. So,
on to our top 5 rackets of 2022. In at number 5, we've got the Head Speed.
Oh, yeah, nice.
As used by Novak Djokovic, fantastic all-round racket. Sits right in the middle of power and control, as a lot of rackets claim to do, but this really does sit right in the middle. What did Head add this year? They added Auxetic, and they added that across their range of new rackets, and it's had a big impact. So we love the Speed for its manoeuvrability, for its all-round access to both power, control, spin. Fabulous racket.
I think maybe harsh to be in at number 5, but there you go.
In at number 4.
Boom.
You got this.
I mean, to be able to call a racket boom and for it to become normal, great effort from Head. Head were kind of missing this stiffer, genuine power frame in their range, so it did fill a hole for them. Yeah, I think again the Auxetic really helped because it's not kind of it's not really uncomfortable to use. It's still got some comfort to it, but it is definitely their most powerful one. And actually, I quite like the colour scheme.
Yeah, me too. The way that Head have styled all of their rackets with this sort of the cross colour design is really nice. Okay.
So the interesting thing about the Boom is I think I'm right in saying it's our best converting racket on demo. Over 90% of people who have demoed it have then bought it. So it's clearly very nice to use and very popular.
And as with the new Speed, you've got Auxetic.
Yes.
You've got Auxetic in the frame, and this seems to have made a huge difference to the whole of the Head range. Boom. In at number 3, it might be difficult to find in the snow, but get it on court in better conditions, and the T-Fight is a fantastic racket. Really fun to play with, and gives I would say it's our best all-round racket.
Ooh.
I think it gives a little bit of everything really well.
Why I like it is I think it's a genuine attacker's racket. Not necessarily a power racket, but a genuine, like, aggressive baseliner, looking to be dominant, looking to attack, looking to get on the front foot. It really helps you add some weight to your shot, some extra juice on your shot. So I think that's why I like it, because I think it actually suits a particular profile really well.
Full disclosure here on the next racket, that is Joe's racket.
So it might have snuck up into a slightly higher number than I would have put it, but we've debated, and coming in at number 2 is the
Yonex E-Zone. Now, yes, I am a E-Zone user. I have been for a long time. So I love the racket. I love the previous version. I like the one before that. This has been an upgrade in power, but without losing control. And it said a lot, power and control, especially with the power rackets. They're always trying to fit in more control. Oh, it's got more control, it's got more control. I think the E-Zone, for me, is the only racket that truly balances that power and control. It's really good, short, compact swings. If you like to counter punch, if you like to use your opponent's pace, really, really good in that sense.
I think one of the benefits E-Zone has, and this is in this particular model as well, is the 98 head size. None of the other power rackets really have that, and I think that helps some of the feel and the control, and the accuracy is having that slightly smaller head, but still in that kind of stiffer, more powerful frame is kind of what sets it apart.
Probably should have been number 1.
Maybe 3.
Finally, in at number 1.
This is the biggest shock.
Yeah.
I mean, this would never have been on our radar as a number 1 racket of the year. Like, not even.
No.
Wouldn't have been in our top 10.
It's not that we weren't excited about the release, but it was, you know, it wasn't high on our list of exciting things of 2022.
Yeah. But unbelievably, the number 1 racket of 2022, in our humble opinion, is the Head Extreme, which, as we just said, which is kind of shocking because it wasn't a kind of top-end performance frame until this new release of this new version, and I think in short they just nailed it.
Yeah, I think that obviously it markets itself as being a spin racket, but it gives you everything really. I was so surprised. I was obviously, as I said, an E-Zone user, not the sort of racket I'd normally go for, but this is fantastic. It had loads of power. I got great pop on serve, which I wouldn't expect with this sort of racket, and just really, really solid all round. It was a huge surprise. And again, credit to Head. It seems as though the exotic that they've added to these rackets this year has made a huge difference. We've got 3 Head rackets inside our top 5, which we did not expect at the beginning of the year. So credit to Head for that. We obviously get rackets, as soon as it arrives, we go straight on court to give it a go, to play test it, and immediately it felt good. It felt comfortable. It felt like it was doing what I was asking it to do, straight out of the box, straight onto the court. First time playing it. I've actually never played with an Extreme before until this version, and it was fantastic from the outset.
I mean, it helps that Berrettini's so good looking, doesn't it?
It does help, yeah.
I mean, one of the other beauties of it is that no matter what racket you use currently in its profile, I think you'll like it.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think you'll like it. You might not love it like your current racket, but I think it's just a very likeable all-round racket for almost anyone. So there you have it. Our number 1 racket, the Head Extreme.
You can check out our full reviews of all of these rackets on our YouTube channel. We've reviewed each one of these in more depth with a lot of the spec attached. So do check those out. We're also incredibly excited.
Incredibly excited.
Very excited for 2023 because we've got some really exciting new rackets.
There's a few in particular that I'm particularly kind of intrigued as to see what kind of comes next. Because obviously we've had some sneak peeks and we've seen some of the designs, so we know that they kind of look quite cool, look quite fresh.
What colour's the Pro Staff, Josh?
I don't know if I'm at liberty to say the colour of the new Pro Staff yet.
So we've got next year, we've got coming a new Wilson Pro Staff. We've got Yonex V-Core, and we've got Head Gravity and Head Radical coming in 2023. As well as later in the year, we've got the new Rafa Aero.
The new Rafa Aero and the new Pure Strike. I think the new Pure Strike and the new V-Core could be the rackets to watch next year.
Agreed.
So there you go.
All right, happy 2022 to everyone. I hope you enjoyed our racket reviews. I hope you picked up one of these new rackets, and if you haven't, check out our reviews. Choose one you like.
Merry Christmas.
See you in 2023.